medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are eating from victims.
My bill is government should all the stakeholders in that sector, they need to be spoken to, and we sit together and appeal to them. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airlines will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning, viewers out there. Welcome to another edition of Inside Nigeria here at the Leadership Podcast Studio. Today, Wednesday, September 22, 2021. As usual, I'm with my co-presenter, Winifred Obebo.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome.
And of course, our analyst, regular analyst, is with us. As you can see, Jide Ojo, an Abuja-based public affairs analyst and a syndicated columnist. Jide, welcome to Inside Nigeria.
It's a pleasure. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yeah, thank you very much. And of course, you know, as usual, we have issues inside Nigeria to talk about.
Always. There's always.
As portrayed by the headlines. Viewers, as usual, we're starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of Leadership this morning, 36 days after assent, President Muhammadu Buhari seeks amendment to the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. 36 days after assent, President Muhammadu Buhari seeks amendment to the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. Says Act makes no provision for federal character political appointees as board members, ignores outcry over 3% for host communities, nominate board members for upstream regulatory commission, EFCC, and others. While experts react to the story. When I saw this story, I was surprised. In the sense that, yes, good. In the sense that it took the National Assembly many months to pass this bill into law. Public hearings were organized, both in the House of Reps and in the Senate. The president also had time to study the bill transmitted to him before assent, only for him 36 days after to come back to say, see, we have problem with the structure of NNPC.
Well, I think it's a political intrigue. The reason why I said that is, as we say in local parlance, so the man was advised. One thing we need to understand is every law passed by National Assembly a copy of that bill will be minuted by the president to the Office of Attorney General for legal advice. And then the agency that will be affected or agencies. So when and the Constitution gives 1 month within which feedbacks within which the president should either assent or tell the National Assembly the reason why it's withholding assent. In that 1 month, he will get the legal opinion of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and then the agencies that will be affected by that bill. So, preponderance of opinion available to the president as at the time the PIA was passed was that he should sign, and then follow up with amendment. The reason being that he wants to be on his political scorecard as having been the president that was able to get Petroleum Industry Act in place. The same thing is there. Don't also forget that the president assented to the National Disability Act, which has stayed 18 years in the National Assembly. He wants to chronicle all of this and say, look, I gave you the National Disability Act. I gave you the Petroleum Industry Act. I gave you a new Electoral Act 2021. You know, just the same way people will tell you that Goodluck Jonathan gave Nigerian media the Freedom of Information Act. So what is playing out is that from legal opinion, possibly the Attorney General and Minister of Justice must have raised a number of issues which has been articulated. There are quite a number of clauses or a number of sections that either once deleted or amended. So this is what is playing out. But I believe it's still better than if he has withheld assent. Because if he has withheld assent, what may likely have happened is that the IOCs, international oil companies, never really want this bill. They don't want it because it's going to make them to pay more.
But however, Mr. Ojo, don't you think that what he just did is also further setting him apart with other governors? Remember, they are coalition is going to put them at coalition pot because the state governors are already angry that the NNPC, as it were, is a collective ownership. So, and the PA Act now makes it exclusive preserve of the president only, and the president has further gone to nominate board members when they are already in dispute.
Well, dispute is normal in governance. What will happen is that they will approach the court. You know, like the issue of stamp duty. The governors are already in court over the sharing formula. And of course, as we know, with VAT, some governors are already in court over who should collect that. So it's normal to have this agreement. But I think the president is more forward looking. He knows if he doesn't do all of this before 2022, he may be too distracted to do it. And you know from experience, a year before election is for politicking. It's for politicking. So there will be movement across the aisle. Today we are seeing migration going the way of APC. In the next 6 months, it may be the other way around. And then if you don't have a two-thirds majority to pass some of these very critical bills, it will be dead on arrival. It will just get enmeshed in political intrigues within the National Assembly. Even to override the presidential veto would not be easy. So I still want to commend him for at least agreeing that I see this petroleum industry as a work in progress and it could be fine-tuned. Although the disappointment that is coming with this amendment is that many Niger Deltas will have wished that this issue of host community trust fund will be increased from 3% to 5%. But that is not being touched.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that finally, that do you think it is politically correct for the president to just keep silent about the agitation? Because the day he was assenting to the bill, he read out his speech, he didn't say anything about that agitation. Now that just yesterday, Tuesday, a letter was read on the floors of both Senate and the reps that the president was seeking an amendment to the PIA. And a statement was also issued by the National Media Handler that the president had sent a letter to the National Assembly seeking for amendment of the PIA. Don't you think it was right or it's not politically correct for the president to have keep quiet? I think he will have said something. See, I heard about your agitation about 3%, but the PIA is a work in progress. We hope to see how it will, pans out, yes, play out, and maybe future amendment will accommodate something like that. And you will just
No.
Is that politically correct?
Well, you may say I'm not a politician, but I think it may be politically correct for him to say nothing. The issue was that before the Senate passed and agreed to this 3% at the Senate, they invited Mele Kyari, the group managing director of the NPC. And he actually said what they proposed is initially 2.5. Initially the host communities were asking for 10% of the profit margin of IOC.
In fact, it was President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua late who, when he sent the PIB to the National Assembly,
that was how many years ago? That was 10 years ago.
No, they were remembering.
But 10% then was of profit. But what Mele Kyari was able to convince the senators to do, if you follow through with this discussion, was that he said, look, this 3% will amount to $550 million annually.
Yes.
Because it's 3% of the operating cost
Exactly.
of the IOCs from the previous year. So if your operating cost last year was 1.5 billion, you are going to give the host community 3% of that operating cost. If it's lower this year, you pay less, but it's going to be 3% of whatever you was operating. That this one is more profitable to the community. But I was telling someone on my show last week who talked to us about this petroleum industry, and what she said was that even this so-called 3%, that there is a clause that says if the IOC, if there is issues around pipeline vandalism and all of that, that they will not pay. Meanwhile, what she said was that some of these so-called vandalized pipelines were being done by people, no, not host communities, okay, but people with IOC.
Okay.
That either some of those equipment are aged and should have been replaced, they were not replaced on time, or something should have been serviced, they were not serviced. They will not blame it on those communities and say they have vandalized their pipeline. It's like somebody, if you are learning a trade, as I learned, if you are learning a trade and they said you spend 5 years, after which your boss will settle you. Yeah. Settle you means give you apprenticeship. Do you know that some, when is what close to the end, you stole my money? So that this issue of that is conditional for you to get that 3% means that the IOC can always instigate either crisis or go and do it themselves so that they will not pay. So there are, but what I will advocate is that let's hurry slowly. The life of a nation is eternal. Even if this amendment says true, nothing says in another 2 years that incoming administration, which may likely be from the south, will not introduce another amendment that might even see to the increase in the money for host community. And the question again is, even the one they get, how they manage.
Exactly.
Look at the issue with NDDC.
That is the issue.
Look at the issue with amnesty program. Look at the issue with Niger Delta Ministry. Look at the issue with even the derivation. Look at even the issue of corporate social responsibility that have been done by IOC, where traditional rulers, opinion molders, and community leaders will sit on those freebies. You understand? Maybe they want to give scholarship. It's only their own children they will put forward. You understand? Their own and their chief's children will be the one to benefit from scholarship. They will not democratize it.
Even the amnesty.
Amnesty.
They replaced it with their own
people. Do you know how many people have headed amnesty? And each of them living Kingsley Kuku, you know what ended up with at large after mismanaged. The one that took over for him also was shoved aside. They said he also mismanaged the amnesty fund. Now they have another person. So the issue is also about accountability and transparency. Whether it's 5%, 10%, 1%, the issue is about prudent management of resources.
Exactly. And there's a need to also exercise patience and
patience. Patient is the patient, but let's be patient.
Because I remember I was at a press conference addressed by the immediate past governor of Bayelsa and current senator representing Bayelsa. Yeah, actually saying if 3% is not changed to 5%, well, the South region or the Niger Delta region might be unfriendly to the IOC. And you know, this is a threat.
We said it earlier in this program because actually, you're right, but the president ought to have addressed it, even just come
to say something
and say yes, we are looking into it. You know, so because at the end of the day, PIA we only work in a region
that is peaceful.
Do you think, you see, with the kind of ethno-religious politics we play in this country, if you want to burn down your region, they will help you.
Do you forgotten that the busting of pipeline was what I hope?
But are they not borrowing money? Are they not borrowing? If you burn down the pipeline, I'm not saying that's the situation, but let's not push our laws too far. If you make your region ungovernable, you are the one that will suffer the brunt. Do you get it? It goes beyond money. You go and burst pipeline. Who suffers the economic, the despoliation of the environment? Do you get it? So what we are saying is, let's exercise caution. I'm not saying they are being fairly treated. We have talked about issue of accountability. But to say that you are going to make the place ungovernable, if Nigeria today is earning $1 million, the elite club in Nigeria will hit to their filo. They will not. They look at what's happening now. Are they not borrowing to make up for the shortfall? So we should not cut our nose to spite our face. Let's peace reign. This government, no matter how unfair the Niger Delta people may think this administration has been to them, will soon end in another couple of years or less than 2 years. By this time in 2023, it will be President Muhammadu Buhari that will be there. So they can engage the new leadership to correct the injustices of the past. That's why patience is advocated. Let's not burn down, let's not make any part of Nigeria ungovernable. We already have enough insecurity in this country. So that would be my own appeal.
All right, we need to move away from leadership and look at what is on the front page of Leadership sister publication, the National Economy. Winifred?
Yes, National Economy. Today, how states can enhance IGR, build sustainable economics, experts. How states can enhance IGR, that is internal generated revenue, and build sustainable economies, says experts.
Actually, this is not new, and you are not part of these experts in this report, but I know you have your own perspective on how states can enhance internally generated revenue and build sustainable economies instead of coming to Abuja every month cap in hand to get money.
Let me commend the leadership newspaper for this investigative journalism. This is the kind of journalism we want to encourage. Encourage a journalism that will provide solution, not just to mirror the bad things of the society. Oh, 20 killed today, 50 abducted. Yes, they are news, and that's what sells. But let's also champion solution. What are the solutions? So this story is profiling solutions to states that are yet to be up there on the IGR ladder, to say that these are ways by which you can make money. And my own perspective has always been that there is no state that is poor. The states that claim to be poor are states that cannot think. The issue today, somebody was saying on a radio station yesterday that Governor Yahaya Bello was begging the southern governors to be their brother's keeper over issue of VAT.
Gombe State.
Even Gombe. But do you know how much they are losing by not registering motorbikes operating in their states? Do you know how much they are losing by not encouraging even car owners, vehicle owners to register with their state board of internal revenue? Do you get it? That's one veritable, because most of, and I've asked that question, even here in Abuja, you will not see a motorbike with number plate. That means they are not registered. So you buy a motorbike and they start plying the road without a number plate, which is a loss of revenue and a security risk.
I thought they do.
They don't. Just check it.
They are supposed to.
They are supposed to. And that is a very good source of revenue. Because in many of the northern states, these motorbikes are in their thousands.
Yes.
So even if it's 5,000 or 3,000 that they used to register with state government, it's a source of revenue. Look at the issue of sports. There are so much resources. Sport is a business. Look at how much Southern America, Argentina, Brazil, how much they are making from sports, from entertainment,
Tourism.
from tourism. And that is what many states are not thinking about. Look, we have so many tourist centers.
Yes.
When Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, when he got to in his first tenure, he was the one that revived the Ikogosi one spring, and he made that. I visited that place in 2014. Ikogosi became Mecca of salt. People were going there for picnics, as a resort event. There's a restaurant there. There were plans to build chalets where you can sleep. You can bring your family there for weekend, and all those. They were even thinking, as at that time, a golf course and helipad, so you can fly in helicopter and all of that. That's somebody that is forward. I don't know whether he has been able to do that now in his second term, because I knew that the moment he lost the 2014 election to Ayo Fayose did not make that his priority. But that's a tourism, and that's just one out of several tourists.
What about Tinapa?
Oh, they have even burned down Tinapa during the NSAS protest in October of 2020. That's the sad story. I have been to Tinapa. I have been to Obudukaturan. Ask me what has become of Obudukaturan today. Obudukaturan, despite the fact that the incumbent governor of Cross River, is from that northern senatorial district, is from that Bekwara, that axis, he has abandoned the Obudukaturan. And this is a facility that they spend millions of dollars to upgrade under Donald Duke.
Yes.
Donald Duke administration was the one that provided cable car. I have had the opportunity of being to Obudukaturan twice in my work life, where we have gone for office retreat. I know several other NGOs that have gone there for workshop, 5-day, 3-day workshop. You drive down through Makodi, Vandekea, down to Boko, down to because that is faster than even flying to Calabar.
Yes,
to now drive another 5-6 hours to Obudu. Yes. But today Obudu has disappeared. The cattle ranch has been left comatose. Then the Tinapa has been raised. So how will Benayade get money to fix the infrastructure of the state? Of course, unfortunately, you know the gargantuan loss Cross River suffered during the NSAS. Yeah. And Cross River is no longer an oil-producing state.
Exactly, so it has lost the 13%.
It has lost the 13%. So what I'm saying is that even though I've not been privileged to read this story, I am very happy with the positive slant of gingering the state governors to think without even a box, not even out of the box, as to how they can improve significantly their idea. Did you know that even all this informal sector make their tax very simple? 1,000. Go to this wholesale market, ask people to pay, and let it be automated so that it doesn't go into private pocket. You see the millions that FCTA will be raking in. Make the tax easy for people to comply with. Do you get personal income tax, sales tax, VAT? So much can be raked in, aside from sports that I've mentioned, issue of tourism, issue of hospitality business, what of the entertainment sector. A lot of resources that can be mobilized, and these have been within the purview of the state.
Once upon a time, Kannywood was almost competing with Hollywood.
Yes, Kannywood was, and you look at what that did for the economy of Kano State.
But
and even
actually a state government policy that is now bringing down
because of this issue of religious Isba and what they should not see, what they should see.
I don't think whether our politicians or policy makers are actually thinking, because when people want to contest for governors, you think they want to come and serve the people. But I think largely they want to come and enjoy the spoil of office only. Only a few governors are actually, putting development in place. Actually, this story was informed by the VAT war.
Exactly. And that's why I said
we're trying to chart a course for the government if they are actually reading us and their advisors.
After all, they have chief press secretaries, they have media aides. They should be receiving copies. There are money earmarked for buying of newspapers.
Of course.
In
In millions for a year.
millions. So they should actually be paying subscription upfront for all the publications, but not so deaf as those who will not hear. Several people have even submitted proposals on PPP, public-private partnership, that can help the state. You know, there are some state roads that you can toll. If you refurbish that road, you understand? Even if it's 100 naira ticket that people are, look at the one we are paying for the to go to the airport now.
Yeah.
You understand? Nobody knows how that money is spent, and there is no maintenance.
That's for fun.
That's for fun.
Ordinarily, should be maybe for Abuja, but Abuja does not control the
But
aviation.
what I'm saying is that just imagine if you have very good busy road in the state, that is a Trump B road, and you refurbish that road so well and decide to tow it. Exactly. You can make a lot of resources that you will use to service and maintain those roads.
We need to go on a short break now. When we come back, we shall be looking at the paper you write for weekly, The Punch, and of course, The Nation newspaper. We'll be back shortly.
Yes, please. Le Vogue magazine is back in a big way, bigger and better than before. Hadiza, could you please join us here? Hadiza and members of Adam, please. Your attention is needed here. So Le Vogue is back and bigger, demonstrating the fact that despite the demise of the visioner, the vision continues and continues to grow. What else does a man want than that you have lived and your legacies remain and keep growing stronger?
He will just lift it up and then you just lift it.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it now is my very special pleasure and privilege to ask His Royal Majesty, the Sultan of Sokoto, the chairman or chairperson of the leadership group, to come forward and join me and hold on to one bit of this cloth so that we can jointly unveil the bigger, better, deeper Le Vogue.
Welcome back. It's still Inside Nigeria this Tuesday, September 22, 2021. Of course, we are still with our analyst, Jide Ojo. Now we're going to the next newspaper on our menu this morning, which is The Punch. On the front page of Punch this morning, all right, expert laments as federal government spends 20 billion naira on idle Ajaokuta steel in 6 years. Experts lament as federal government spends 20 billion naira on idle Ajaokuta steel in 6 years. Recurrent expenditure gets 18.7 billion naira. Capital 1.4 billion naira under Buhari regime. Ajaokuta steel project, a waste of government scarce resources, say experts. Do you believe what experts are saying, that Ajaokuta steel project is a waste of government scarce resources? There are two things here: a waste and whether we have scarce resources.
The latter is not in doubt. We have scarce resources, but
we're not wasting.
We are just wasteful.
Money.
You know, in my column in The Punch, which is today, I actually pointed out alternatives, viable alternatives to our perpetual borrowing, begging that we are doing across the globe, then there are actually avenues, variable alternatives to borrowing heavily as we are doing. And this is part of issues I raise, wastages in the system. This is a place that has been comatose since the 1970s. Has never really been harnessed the government has never harnessed its full potentials. Now 20 billion has been spent. Workers are being paid to do what?
For doing nothing.
Exactly.
So 18.7 billion in 6 years. Nobody is computing the figures under Obasanjo or since 1979 or 80 that Ajagunta has been commissioned. So, and I've said this is part of my advocacy that some of these white elephants auction them off, save budgetary allocations to them, and when money made from those auctions can be used to fix critical infrastructure. 20 billion not the chicken money. So people are just being paid for doing nothing. In the last 6 years, they even voted 1.4 billion for capital project. What manner of capital project are we talking about? You have refused to make that place viable. And what has then led to the death knell of Ajagunta State Complex is policy somersault. They have, I think under Obasanjo, global infrastructure, something, which they said Obasanjo's son, Benga, facilitated their coming to India. They sold off Ajagunta to them. They were supposed to invest, use their funds to repair the place. But rather than doing that, they were engaging in asset stripping.
Yes.
And the government decided to nullify that. That has led to litigation.
Exactly.
So, for how many decades now? But should you be spending this kind of monstrous amount on a project that is not yielding any resource? But I'm not surprised. You know why? Even NPC that has been recording deficit, no profit, the refineries that have not worked in over 30 years, people are getting paid for it. For doing nothing. I granted an interview to a Guardian reporter who was so concerned about these refineries that why are we, this is a refineries where we are spending $25 billion on turnaround maintenance. We never turn them into around. And nobody has ever been queried. The money, dollars or not naira, going down the drain. Now workers are getting paid for supposedly working in refineries. What have you produced? Nothing to show. Yet, enormous sums of money are being paid to them as salaries and emoluments for just going to the office to drink tea and read news. Yes, they have bosses who will collect testicles and travel and do all of. So this is, I agree with you, I assure you, that our problem lies in between scarce and wasteful resources. We don't have enough. The little we have, we waste. Look, Niger Delta Development Commission, they cry that they are not receiving all their full budgetary allocations. But the one you get, you still use it to line your pocket. You looked it. So that is at the multifaceted nature of Nigerian problem. I don't know. Maybe we want angels or nationals of another country to come and take over.
It's been almost 2 weeks since they submitted a report on them.
NBDC.
Exactly. And we've not heard anything from the president.
People have been asking for that report to be declassified, for the media houses to have a look at it. Nobody, they are actually the Minister of Justice is not saying anything.
Is it going to go in the way of former groups?
Who knows? That's why there is a strident demands for the making public of that report, so that even if it's executive summary, let's know whether Asiwaju is owing. Maybe it's one of the contractors that have gotten 20 billion, refused to go to strike for whatever, so that we know how to hold him to account that Has he paid his money? Can we see receipts issued when he refunded?
Was it not but there was it not the acting MD that collapsed during the
Pondek.
Yeah.
That
they were telling him off the mic, off the mic.
After he off the mic, he still fainted. But they've sacked his ESCO with Caro Jugo. Somebody went to court and said the interim administration was not recognized by the. So the court has sacked them. Now we have one sole administrator, the I think director of finance, who is from Akwa Ibom State, is the one that has been running the affairs of that NDDC since the beginning of this year. Which is again why people are calling. Let there be governing board. Appoint people. There are so many. Did you know that today now yesterday the president just nominated the governing board of EFCC.
Yeah.
Only God knows how long that is has been without a
secretary and board members.
So is that how to run government? This is
what the chairman has been taking unilateral decisions.
Or could not take certain decisions because they are supposed to be board. So this is what we are saying. Now people are unemployed, thousands of vacancies available for people to be on one board or the other. There are so many party men that needed to be settled. You never did. Now, with those vacancies that will remain on, look at INEC. INEC, by what I learned is by the end of this year, about 30 out of 36 or thereabout of the resident electoral commissioners' position will be vacant. By now, new nominees should have been made so that due diligence done, background check.
You not discover 1, 2 or 2%.
Exactly. So you do due diligence. Look at the time since when they nominated Loretta. It was October last year.
And the vacancy has not been filled.
And it was July this year that they now brought them before the Senate. For the first time, it's October last year. Look at the time lapse. Now, it's not automatic that if you are nominated, you will be cleared. So why don't the president, even 2-3 months before the tenure of anybody will expire, just go adulting and file in the nomination of their successor so that there can be proper handover. You can understudy the one that is leaving, the successor can understudy him for about a month. How things are done here and all of that. But the president will allow those vacancies to be there. Some have been there for 3 years, for five years, only for them to now said they are not productive. They cannot be productive because there are certain decisions that board has to take. Even like all these weighty policy decisions are reserved for the board to be done. So if you are just a chairman, you are Armstrong because there's no board. Look at the board of National Human Rights Commission has been vacant for about 2 years before it was filled recently. So that is the lacuna in governance, which should not be tolerated.
Thank you, Jide. It's 10:41 here, Abuja, Nigeria, and 9:41 in Ghana, where Amidou Mohammed is watching us from. Good morning, Amidou. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Amidou. Now, we go to the last paper on our menu today. Winifred, we have the Nation newspaper.
We have the Nation newspaper. On today's Nation, it says, anti-open grazing, El-Rufai attacks Southern governors. Anti-open grazing, El-Rufai, Governor Nasiru El-Rufai attacks Southern governors.
The Kaduna State Governor Nasiru,
and he says that they are making political law that can't be implemented.
Exactly. Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai attacks his southern counterpart, saying the anti-open grazing law is unimplementable, that cannot be implemented. Well, I don't know why he subscribes to such perspective, but when law was made against open consumption of liquor in some states in southern Nigeria, nobody said it was unimplemented.
Well, he's entitled to his own opinion, and we know Governor Rufai is quite harmful, and he's somebody with an acerbic tongue. But he's entitled to his own opinion. The point is, he cannot run other states apart from Kaduna. So he may choose not to do anti-open grazing in Kaduna, but at least those who are in southern states knew why they have to enact this anti-open grazing.
And at this time,
And at this time, look, Katsina has received money for National Livestock Transformation Plan. Nasarawa has received. How many states in southern Nigeria has received? So you want them to make their own land, let them continue to feast, let the cattle continue to feast on the crops of the farmers. You know, every governor is appointed or elected into office to protect the interest of his citizens. So the southern governors are protecting the interest of their own citizens. And they have their reasons for why they do what they did. Grazing is a business. QED is a business. When I was amazed when Malami, the Attorney General Minister of Justice, said some months ago that what if the northern governor decided to prescribe sales of spare parts? I mean, how do you compare apples and oranges? Do they mean that the Igbos who are into spare part trade do not have offices? They don't have shops. They
cause chaos.
Do they carry it on their head and go inside the bushes? We are talking of things that have led to banditry, aided banditry, deaths, many deaths, cause a lot of conflict. And they felt the southern governors are not saying don't ply your trade. They said if you must, please buy a piece of land and fence it and feed your cattle there.
After all, it's a business.
It's a business. So what is wrong in that? You said it's not implementable because you want to defy it. But look at how much havoc this has caused. The National State Governor was saying that they've been able to retrace 6 grazing reserves in their state, and that they've received funds, I think, from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture for National Livestock Transformation Plan. Now, the former minister or the current minister said they gave money to Ebonyi. Ebonyi governor said they never got any money for NLTP. So the point is that this trade that we are trying to protect, mark you, the governors forum as a unit, as a whole, has agreed that open grazing is not sustainable. And that's why Governor Ganduje, Abdullahi Ganduje, has my respect. He has gone ahead and built very big ranches where he said his brother elders who wants to engage in ranching can come. They have built hospitals, built veterinary hospitals, built schools, built roads, built infrastructure in that place. But mark you, why the North has wide expanse of land that we could make available for ranching? Where are you going to get land to ranch in Lagos?
Exactly. Or is this as
even Ibadan? Where are the forests? The forests have long been depleted as a result of urbanization.
Others are not even supposed to migrate towards Lagos.
Exactly. But you see these elders, on the bush path. Economy has been rendered prostrate as a result of banditry. Tell me, we in civil society used to go to Kaduna for workshops. because of the cost of
Yeah.
doing workshop in Abuja. And so when you want to take your participants to a out of
It's
town,
true.
you go to
We used
Kaduna.
to go to Kaduna.
Now the tourism and the hospitality business in Kaduna is down because you cannot. Which day was it not last week that Ihoyamia was picked like a snake on the road between Abuja and
Zamfara State.
Yes, was picked like a snake on the road to Kaduna. So if he's not concerned about the safety and security of his own citizens, his brother governors are more concerned about the need. You know, let's not be defeatist that it will not work. The people are not saying don't graze. They say open grazing. That's what has been banned. What are you doing with night grazing? You graze in the night. Then you see children grazing cattle. Children as in 10 years that should be in school, they don't know crops from weed. They just graze. And these are the things that have been banned. And they have not said that if you want, you can buy 10 acres from a community, fence it, and put your cattle there. Feed them there. Provide them veterinary services. And that's what the Nigerian, the southern governors are saying, as is your alternate plan. Where I fought some of them in the south is there is no gestation period for the implementation. You cannot do it now. You know, I think there should have been like 6 months or 1 year within which you give them that, look, within these 6 months, if you want land, approach Ministry of Land and Housing in our state. This is how much you are willing to sell land for you. You will get your C of O and move your cattle there. Or form yourself into cooperatives. You understand? And the state government can give you soft loan. After all, we did it for, the central bank did it for Anchor Borrowers Program, where farmers were formed into cooperatives and rice farmers were supported, poultry farmers were supported, cassava farmers were supported. So we can also, I'm not against us, federal government or state government supporting others to also be able to build facility for ranching. So that, I don't know, I've not read any of the anti-open grazing law, but I think these are the kind of things I would like to see in those laws, to say, we give you 3 months, we give you 6 months, the alternatives for you is form yourself into cooperatives, we will provide you land, you will fence it, we will provide you infrastructure, move over there within 6 months. So within it's like when you want to demolish a house, it's in the day you give notice of demolition, you also go and demolish. The law is very clear. The notice you have to give, and that's where I may agree with Verify about maybe they want it, but like I said,
Rubbish the whole thing. It is not implemented.
it's not so. I don't agree with it that it's not implemented.
Many times you should for creating time to meet all this money. All this while I think we must tell our viewers that Jide Ojo is a TV personality as well as the creator and presenter of Development Focus on ITV Abuja.
It's a pleasure. We're one love. We're all in this together. We're praying for a better Nigeria.
Exactly.
So that's what we are actually anxiously waiting for. A Nigeria that you and I will be proud of, where we will live and work and aspire and realize our dreams, of a country to be proud of, so that we don't have to emigrate to greener pasture. The grass is always greener at the other side.
Exactly.
We can make this country livable, and that's what we are trying to do.
Many thanks to you again, Jide Ojo, an Abuja-based public affairs analyst, syndicated columnist, and TV personality. Winifred, it's time to go.
Yeah, thank you so much once again, Jide.
Thank you for thanking me.
Next
Next time, I want coffee in this cup.
Oh yes, you're going to have it.
Okay, you're on here.
All right. Thank you, viewers, for speaking with us. It's been an interesting analysis.
Make a day with us tomorrow, Thursday, for another edition of Inside Nigeria. And from here, I'm saying bye for now.